Hey guys, first Guardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Marksman Bolt Carbine build for the Sniper class in Space Marine 2 Patch 12. Now, in this patch, the Ammo Reserve variant of the Marksman Carbine got buffed. Its base damage is now far better, to the point it now actually out-damages the Headshot Multiplier version occasionally. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, like maybe they'll buff this one up again in the future, but for now, this is the best option, so we're building around that today. Now, for the perk tree, I do take the perk Great Might first, moving here into the perk Retaliation. After a perfect time dodge, you will deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. The reason I take this perk is because I am building around the perk Vantage Point, which gives us a 20% range damage buff for being stationary for 2 seconds, and on top of that, I will also be building around Evasion. So on a perfect time dodge, our Camo Cloak will automatically activate for 5 seconds. That's enough time for us to stand completely still for Vantage Point, and on top of that, we will get the 25% damage buff here, so pretty great synergy all around. Next perk here is Adamantine Grip, into the perk here, Unwavering Resolve. After reloading while having low ammo, damage increases by 25% for 5 seconds. This perk and the perk over here, Retaliation, while active, will give you more damage than the perk tree up here for Headhunter and Divine Might, but if you want to go up top instead, you can definitely do that because hipfire perks and healing are still pretty good. Now, next perk here is Extend Magazine, up here into the perk Headhunter and Headhunter for a 20% damage bonus. Then I go down here for Divine Might, into the perk Increased Capacity, Magazine Restoration, and then we take Adamantine Grip again, and finish off with Divine Might. These 4 perks can be swapped out for the perks up here instead, like Adamant Hunter and Recoupment. Recoupment is way safer on this build overall because I am not taking Purification, so if you want to pick up the Armor Store instead of like pure damage on like this bottom row, you can do that. I decided to go down here today because I really don't think this build is that unsafe anyways, because with just a perk down here on the Prestige perk option, Emperor's Grace for invulnerability for 2 seconds on Camo Cloak, you're pretty safe on this build. Like, I'll be honest, at least against Tyranids, you're not really going to have that much trouble, especially when we combine the next 2 weapons we have, which are, of course, the Inferno Pistol and brand new Heroic Combat Knife, Argent Edge. Now, the Inferno Pistol is the one we're going to cover first, mainly because in this patch, it got a 22% gun strike damage buff. It feels way better now. I actually love this weapon. I was kind of a fan of it before, but like these days, I would say it's like an A tier gun. It's quite good. It's definitely like, it feels way better with that extra gun strike damage. Now, for the perk tree, I do take the perk Perpetual Range first. Effective range increases by 1 meter, just because range on this thing is just way better in my opinion than going for the perk up here, Motivated Melee, especially since we're using a Fencing Combat Knife instead. And the next perk I take after this is, of course, Brace Reload, into the perk here, Perpetual Range again, up into Great Might, Increased Capacity, Adamant Restoration, and we finish off with Extra Shot and Trick Shot for some Armor Restore and Hordes, which is actually pretty damn good. Having Armor Restore in the middle of a Horde clear option is pretty strong. This one's also on the Melter Rifle and it's pretty good there. Now, for the melee weapon, we do use the brand new Heroic Combat Knife, Argent Edge. This is just the best fencing weapon in Space Marine 2 right now, in my opinion, mainly because of the heroic perk effect here. Scathing Retort. The riposte window is shorter, but each riposte deals damage. What this weapon does basically is you have a damage on your perfect parry, and the block window, or I should say the parry window, feels like a block weapon instead of like a normal fencing weapon. But the greatest benefit of this weapon is that every single parry you do on Argent Edge will stagger an enemy and give you an opportunity to gun strike. That means you can cancel out of Ravener combos, you can cancel Lictor combos, or normally unblockable Sword Warriors. Everything that would ever pretty much lock you down in this game will be stopped by this weapon, which is just god tier in my opinion. It's like one of the best weapons in the entire game currently, and by far an S tier weapon alongside the Power Gladius. Now, for the perk tree on this, I do pick some stuff a little bit differently. Number 1, I take Perpetual Strength. Melee damage increases by 5%, moving here to Kinetic Energy. The main change here is that I do skip over Shadow Stab on this build because I don't think the single target damage on this option matters that much. So I just prefer to go for like other options like Shoulder Bash instead. But if you want to take this perk, you definitely can. It's pretty standard here, like Perpetual Strength and Heavy Onslaught, Extremis Slayer or Terminus Slayer is up to you. And I do prefer Shoulder Bash mainly because the the animation of this feels like ever so slightly shorter than Distance Stab, and it locks you down less, and it's pretty useful for that. That's pretty much all there is for the weapon selection. Now, for my perk tree on this, I do start off with Melee Mastery. Melee damage increases by 20% against Majora's level and higher enemies. This is still just the best perk in this tree in my opinion, mainly because Block Break is just not that good, and the perk down here, Medicate Adept, is just not that useful at all in Sniper. This is also a 20% multiplicative damage buff, which is like one of the best melee damage buffs in the entire game, so definitely grab this one. Next perk here is Vantage Point. Remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your ranged weapons damage by 20%. This perk is pretty good. You know, I'm not a big fan of this usually, but on this build, there is quite a good synergy with this option. And you really do not need adaptability or high capacity, because high capacity is just kind of redundant because this weapon is so damn ammo efficient, and adaptability is just not as good of a melee damage buff as the perk over here, Melee Mastery. Next perk here is Dexterous Hands. Bolt carbines reload 20% faster, and the weapon spread and recoil reduced by 15%. This perk is the only perk in this column that does anything for a bolt carbine, so you just grab it. I mean, I wish there was a different option, but this is the only one. Next perk here is Marksmanship. Headshot damage increases by 10% for all team members. This is a nice little damage buff. If you want to take the other two options, you could. Like, you could skip over for precision targeting or squad renewal even. That is also up to you. I'm just taking this because I'm building to renewal down here, though I will say, if you want to play Purification for CHP regen, you just take squad renewal, because without that, your camo cloak kind of sucks. Now, the next perk here is Targeted Shot. The first range attack that breaks camo cloak deals 75% more damage. Now, on this perk, there's actually a hidden effect. When you enter your camo cloak, there will be a lingering effect of the 75% damage bonus, which means you can actually get off multiple shots of your Marksman Carbine before it actually runs out. A really cool option. They actually buffed that up in like patch 11, mainly because the Heroic Instigator was added to the game. And if they didn't do that, the 5-round burst would be like totally worthless, but also works for this weapon. So a great option. I definitely prefer this on this build. And also Tactical Ambush is just not worth taking on the Argent Edge knife, and Argent Edge functions all on its own regardless. Next perk here is Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks camo cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. This is a natural synergy with the perk over here, Vantage Point. You just go camo cloak and sit there for like 2 seconds, start shooting your gun, you'll get that stationary buff, and usually you can start using it out of the cloak as well, so that's why I pick it up here. Final perk is Evasion. After a perfect time dodge, a camo cloak automatically activates without spending a charge for 5 seconds, and the cooldown is 30 seconds. Like I mentioned before, having extra camo cloaks for Vantage Point is quite nice. There's also some good synergy there with Retaliation. That's pretty much all there is for the main perk tree. But for our prestige perks, number 1, Emperor's Grace. When Camo Cloak activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This perk is god tier at keeping you alive. Being able to become invulnerable in Space Marine 2 makes it so you can never be knocked down for that time period, and on top of that, you will take no damage. This gives you a ton of utility on a sniper class. This is like really the best defensive perk on this class in the game besides Purification, so you pretty much always grab it. Next perk here is Indomitable Spirit for no knockback on gun strikes, Conviction for 25% health damage reduction, and Exacting Focus for 20% more range damage for 10 seconds on gun strike. And that is pretty much all there is for this build, guys. Honestly, this one performs pretty damn well. I was pretty much able to just like walk through a true solo operation on this one because Inferno Pistol, Bolt Carbine, and Argent Edge especially, they're just very safe and strong weapons at the moment. So hopefully this build guide helped you, and if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, the ability to auto eliminate those guys is so nice. Everyone, Mr. Dad today. I did talk to him last night, Mr. E. I was expecting to be underwhelmed by Tech Marine, but it turned out to be incredibly fun. I mean, I think it's a very well-designed class. It just needs some, like, needs some tweaks, that's all. Like, the core design is good. You can tell it's a post-launch class. Anyway, like the Power Axe is a... God, this gun does not really run out of ammo. I know we're on like our last magazine here as I say that, but we've also been spamming it. And it's not that like the Inferno pistol is bad anymore. Those buffs.
Exterminate the swarm.
Is the Inferno pistol gun strike as good as plasma now? I think it might be close. I haven't tested the exact number. I know it's 122. I don't remember the exact number of the plasma. I'm feeling it's like 126 or so. So it might be like a little less. I like this. I just got back to the games looking for Raptors-like builds playing tactical shooters recently. I would say if you want to play a tactical shooter, you either play Sniper or you play TAC.
No signs of life at the Astra Militarum camp. Human life anyway. Talassa, you need to acquire the Astra Militarum demolition codes required to deploy and arm their ordnance. Source one from any soldier you see.
You gotta stand still. If you. Okay. Inferno Pistol W? Hold on. If we stand completely still, the AI's input reading's worse. It's kind of funny. Does the Inferno pistol still pierce enemies on Gunstrike? Yes. Yes, it does. I mean, the major downside, I like how it took them 4 patches almost. How long has this gun been out? A while. How is the new Heroic Knife? It's the best fencing weapon in the game right now. Put it that way. It is the best fencing weapon in Space Marine 2. Mainly because it has a ridiculous amount of stagger. It will stagger on every single gunstrike, no matter what. Or not gunstrike, parry. So if you parry a Ravener on the first hit, it will auto stagger and get a gunstrike every single time. And that alone is incredible. That opens up opportunities to trigger perk effects on gunstrike far more easily. And also, it allows you to trigger your perk effect or your CHP recovery more easily. And also just not get locked down. It's the best one in the game, by far. I was drinking my tea. I was drinking my tea. Where you at? How do you deal with the sniper meta in the game right now? It's a good question. You shoot him in the face of the Marksman Carbine, of course. I gotta say, our Raptor is dripping. Pretty damn good. Yeah, do you prefer knife variants on TAC now over Chainsword? Oh, definitely. I always have, like, ever since the Power Gladius. But, like, I would say that it's funny. The 2 heroic combat knives are, like, the best, arguably the best balance and best fencing weapon in the entire game. So we'll see what they do with the other heroic weapons.
Proceed to the Prometheum refinery and complete the demolition preparations.
Okay.
no more. Never seen Primary Jimmy roar. Hope it burns all the same. Replacing holy order. Exterminate the swarm beast. Serial light cloak activated.
Oh, this gun fucks.
I hear tyranny trolls. To arms! Destroy those minds.
That's why the firing squad. Holy shit.
Reloading magazine. Tyranny cactus sighted. Xenos infantry. Aggressive be this magazine. Serial light cloak activated. They shall perish without an assist.
Look at all these snipers. Thank God we have a Marksman Carbine. God, this gun fucks. Have other heroics been data mined? Yeah, 2 power axes, they said.
We have reached the objective. You are making
So I've been told anyways. I haven't checked the actual like mine Discord for that, but for the Emperor, indeed, brother.
Infernus pattern melter charge. Impressive. Use the cords to bring the bomb and finish its deployment into the cryptomedium well. Cautiously. If you know what is good for you. Let's go. Exterminate the swarm beasts. Zoanthrope has fallen. We trap them. Replacing holy order. We stand in victory against this foul tyranny.
No, I really don't remember the Inferno pistol just like straight up one-shotting these guys, but I guess it does.
Time to get to work, machine. Right.
I feel like I used to always get like staggers on these guys instead of like a one-shot.
Raises humbly the machine god's name.
Goes to show the only thing missing on the Inferno pistol really was like gunstrike damage. The limited range kind of sucks, but like that's the only downside for a massive AoE stagger. And this weapon is probably very, very good against Chaos at the moment. I mean, it already was. Inferno pistol is already a pretty good option for that.
They shall perish without an assist. Incoming. Generator 2. Disruption operation is close to finished. Bring it into the Argent's proper alignment.
Alright, we're just gonna go over there. Going for a plasma pistol or inferno pistol heroic? Me too. That would be quite cool. Is there a number on the damage proposed for the knife? Yeah, it's like 50. So to put that in perspective, a warrior has like 300 HP. Oh my god. Yeah, 54 damage. Now, in the PTS, it would operate on battle focus. That's no longer the case.
Thank the Emperor. It is done. There is an observation platform overlooking the Cryptomethium fields. It will make a good vantage for your ambush.
There we go. No more heroic knives ever. We used up 2 slots already. I mean, even if that is 100% true, which it is as far as what the SA have said, I'm happy with the ones we got. How's that damage compared to Intimidating Aura? It's like 3 times less. Or I should say, Intimidating Aura is like, what, 180? 160? Intimidating Aura is better, but Intimidating Aura also has a cooldown. And also, this one just auto parries on every single parry. Like, that's a nuts. Or auto gun strikes. Not auto, but daggers. You know, I feel like by the end of Space Marine 2's life cycle, the game's gonna be a pretty damn good spot. Like, the battles will probably be pretty decent. The weapons will be pretty fun to use across the board. And we might even have like 2 new classes. How would you rate the update with that voice pack drama? I mean, it's probably the best update in the game. And if it's not this one, it was patch 10. I guess we bugged them when we went invisible. Funny. Thank God that little railing was there. Kind of feels like a missed opportunity to not give the Tech Marine a perk that boosts the damage and launchers projectile weapons called Tech Adept and have buff Plasma Inferno Neo. I think like pure range damage buffs are probably better because then you get to have, I mean, niche stuff is cool, but it's also like, I feel like weapon specific perks should be in the actual weapon perk trees. Alright. What difficulty is this? Absolute.
Throne. Look at them all. Could not miss if I tried. Not that it would make a dent.
Right, let's go over here.
We are in position and have eyes on the target.
Might get a boss here too, we'll see.
Dig in. We need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates the bulk of
You
the
beat RE9 in 2 hours and 6 minutes? God damn.
Keep your heads and get
That's
it
nuts, dude. Or you say 2 hours and 7 minutes. Or no, excuse me, you got 2 hours and 11 minutes and you could shave off 6 minutes. I heard that game's very good. I'd be playing it if I wasn't playing this. I have a story of my life in the past year and a half, but I'll probably play the Trials in the Infinite DLC for Rogue Trader when that comes out.
The bulk of the swarm is continuing along the protected path. Continue holding.
How's the Inferno pistol feel after the gunstrike buff? It feels incredible, Glacier. Actually, it was already kind of like growing on me as a secondary. I'd say it's like an A tier secondary now. It's very good. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is horde control, stagger, plus stagger gun strikes with the only downside being a lower range on your gun strikes and a lower range on your actual shot. But on classes like Sniper that can kind of make up for that with their primary and Vanguard, or Assault being able to just like dive bomb people.
Almost fully committed. Be ready for my mark.
Close.
You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards. We will stop them.
God, that knife is so good.
Well, hot.
Which heroic combat knife do you prefer and why? It really depends, because like I think they're both equivalent tier items. Power Gladius is definitely harder to use, but because it's just a number one's a balanced weapon. It doesn't like the insta stagger, but it has way more damage potential on it. You can one-shot bosses. It's on tack. But the heroic combat knife, if you're playing like have a keep away build, very good because of that stagger. I'd say like the damage on parry hardly even matters on this weapon. Even if it was just if the perk effect was literally just like every parry staggers plus
Thunderhawk arriving at evac point. Wrap down and ready. Go, go. This place is falling apart.
Here we go.
Extraction complete. Return.
Maybe the perk effect on this was like a stagger only, it would still be worth taking. It'd still be the best fencing weapon in the game, in my opinion. But Power Gladius can, you know, one-shot guys, and like that's pretty damn good. Hard to beat that. Hard to beat instantaneously killing an enemy, right?